the right of expression, the right to vote, the right to be treated with dignity and respect.
This charter is like a contract.
Trudeau had the mind, the determination to bring about a change.
More importantly than having your rights, you have responsibilities with those.
It's a document created by human beings. It'll never be perfect. All people will never agree that it is what they want.
It's made Canada a place where diversity is truly a hallmark of who we are.
When in the course of human events, the government becomes destructive of the ends for which it was established, it is the right of the people to alter it and demand restoration of those constitutional principles that have so long assured their liberty, safety, and happiness.
Therefore, on the anniversary of our independence, we offer this new declaration for our times.
The history of this president is one of arbitrary usurpations of power, the effect of which is to establish tyranny through false promises of greater security.
He has created a multitude of secret programs and sent swarms of petty officers to spy on Americans in a misguided effort to combat foreign terrorism.
He has invested these agents with sweeping new powers to monitor our conversations and ransack our personal papers and effects
without judicial supervision or any reason to believe, as the Constitution requires, that a crime has been committed.
He has further claimed the power to disregard legislation that Congress has passed.
He has suspended the laws and treaties against torture,
authorized the kidnapping of mere suspects, and transported hundreds of prisoners beyond seas
so that no independent judiciary could question the legality of their mistreatment.
He and his supporters in Congress have granted amnesty to the officials who unleashed torture and humiliation upon helpless prisoners, to the disgrace of our nation.
He has denied these prisoners access to attorneys, family, and friends, and has claimed the right to try them before military tribunals specifically designed to disregard the most basic principles of law.
He has imprisoned thousands of lawful immigrants for months without charges, under brutal conditions, until his agents, rather than independent courts, decided that they posed no threat.
He has wrapped his usurpations of power and his deprivations of liberty in thick cloaks of secrecy, thereby showing contempt for the rule of law and the proper functions of Congress, the courts, and the press.
At every stage of these oppressions we have sought redress, but our petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
We therefore resolve to resist these usurpations by all lawful means at our disposal. We insist that the powers of our national government be shared by all branches of that government and not concentrated in one alone.
And we call upon Congress, the courts, and the press to reassert their constitutional functions and restore the promise that is America.
To these ends, we mutually pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
The U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights offer protection and remedies for government assaults on civil liberties, but only if they are enforced. Demand that your representatives uphold their oaths to protect and defend the Constitution. Join with others in your community and around the country in the People's Campaign for the Constitution. Go to www.constitutioncampaign.org.
In 1976, the United Nations adopted two covenants, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Together with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, these three documents form the International Bill of Human Rights. These covenants detail the basic economic, social, cultural, civil, and political rights of individuals and nations. Governments and individuals must work together to make the human rights in these covenants a reality to all people. The rights of the covenant apply to all individuals, regardless of race, color, sex, language, religion, political opinion, social status, nationality, property, birth, or other status. Every individual has the right to life. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression and to take part in cultural life and enjoy the benefits of progress. All people have the right to freely determine their political status and to pursue their economic, social, and cultural goals. Everyone has the right to an education. Education should support human rights as well as economic, social, and cultural development. All individuals have the right to an adequate standard of living, including food, clothing, housing, and the continuous improvement of living conditions. All people have the right to own, trade, and dispose of their property freely. People have the right to work and the freedom to choose their work. All people have the right to just and favorable work conditions, equal pay for equal work, safe and healthy work conditions, equal opportunity for promotion, holidays with pay, including maternity leave, reasonable working hours. All individuals have the right to Social Security and social insurance. Everyone has the right to enjoy the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health. All people have the right to choose whom they will marry and to have a family. Children should be protected from economic and social exploitation and should be given all possible means to develop. All individuals have the right to be free from hunger. This includes appropriate production, conservation, and distribution of food. Governments must cooperate to end world hunger. Everyone has the right to equality before the law, to a fair and public hearing by a competent and impartial tribunal, and to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. No government shall commit genocide, torture, or administer inhumane or degrading treatment. All individuals have the right to privacy. All individuals have the right to enter and leave countries, to choose a home. Nothing in the covenant may be interpreted to destroy any existing rights or freedoms. These covenants are part of the United Nations International Bill of Human Rights. The information contained in them is to be observed and recognized by all individuals and governments so that the highest level of human rights can be achieved. Governments are responsible for reporting their progress to the UN's Human Rights Committee to ensure that these covenants are properly observed and implemented.
The principle of compassion lies at the heart of all religious, ethical, and spiritual traditions,
calling us always to treat all others as we wish to be treated ourselves.
Compassion impels us to work tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of our fellow creatures.
To dethrone ourselves from the center of our world and put another there.
To honor the inviolable sanctity of every single human being.
Treating everybody without exception.
With absolute justice, equity, and respect.
It is also necessary in both public and private life
to refrain consistently and empathically from inflicting pain.
To act or speak violently out of spite, chauvinism, or self-interest.
To impoverish, exploit, or deny basic rights to anybody.
And to incite hatred by denigrating others, even our enemies.
Is a denial of our common humanity.
We acknowledge that we have failed to live compassionately.
And that some have even increased the sum of human misery in the name of religion.
We therefore call upon all men and women to restore compassion
to the center of morality and religion.
To return to the ancient principle
that any interpretation of Scripture
that breeds violence,
hatred,
or disdain
is illegitimate.
To ensure that youth are given accurate and respectful information
about other traditions, religions, and cultures.
To encourage a positive appreciation of cultural and religious diversity.
To cultivate
an informed empathy with the suffering of all human beings,
even those
regarded as enemies.
We urgently need to make compassion a clear, luminous, and dynamic force in our polarized world.
Rooted in a principled determination to transcend selfishness.
Compassion can break down political, dogmatic, ideological, and religious boundaries.
Born of our deep interdependence, compassion is essential for human relationships and to a fulfilled humanity.
It is the path to enlightenment and indispensable in the creation of a just economy and a peaceful global community.